All right, so now we're looking at the volume of the pyramid. So in this case, it's a rectangular base pyramid. So the formula to calculate the volume of this rectangular base pyramid, it's 1/3. So you're taking a third of the product of the length, the width, and the height. And in this case, we're talking about the height of the actual pyramid and not the slant height. So we have to be careful of what we are doing. Okay? So if you are looking at this here, what's your length, what's your width, what's your height?
Height is 25.
Yeah. So this is your height. And let's say this is your length. And this is your width. Okay? So you have all the information that you need. You just have to plug them into the formula of the volume equals 1/3 length times width times height. In your formula sheet, you should have the same, it's a little bit different. It says volume equals to base squared, height divided by 3. The only reason why it says base squared because the formula that you have is only for square base pyramids and not for rectangular base pyramids. Okay? So this right here is for the square base pyramid. Okay? In this case, we don't have square base pyramid, so your length and width are going to be different. So it's not going to be b squared, base times base, right? It's going to be length times width. Are you guys okay with the difference? Okay? All right. So we're still, if you think about it this way, we're still looking for the base, for the area of the base, which is length times width. We're multiplying it by the height, but the only difference here is we're also dividing by 3. Okay? Because otherwise, if we don't do that, it's going to be the volume of a regular prism, like a rectangular prism, right? If I just leave it as length times width times height, right? If I don't do this, right? It's going to be the area of a rectangular prism, okay? But I don't have a rectangular prism. I have a pyramid, right? So that's why it's multiplied by 1/3. It's actually a third of the volume of this. Okay? All right. So let's look what we have. So we know that the length is 18. We know that the width is 15. And we know that the height is 25. I'm looking for the volume. And the formula is volume equals 1/3 length times width times height. So you can also write it like this if you want. Right? You can write it like so. So it's the same thing as writing as length times width times height divided by 3. They're exactly as stable. Okay? Can you find me the answer for that, please? 2,250 centimeter cube. All right. So for your second pyramid, it's asking you to calculate the volume of the pyramid that gives you the length, the width, and the is it the height of the pyramid that they give you?
No, it's not height.
It's the slant height.
So we have to-
And is that what I need for my volume? No. So I have to find the actual height of the pyramid. I need to find this, right? I know this. Do I know this?
Yeah.
What is it? So it's half of your base, right? Half of your length. So I have a rectangular, a right angle triangle. So this is going to be 13. This is going to be 22. I am looking for this. What formula do I use? Pythagorean theorem, yeah. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What do I know? Yeah, so I know I'm looking for a. So it's going to be c squared minus b squared, right? Because you're going to bring the b squared over. So in this case, it's going to be 22 squared minus 13 squared. You guys have to help me with the calculator here. 12.4. Okay, I don't have the calculator.
It's 315, right?
Did you square root it?
17.7.
Okay. And that's going to be in centimeters, right?
Yes.
So now I know what my height is, I know what my length is, and I know the width. So all what I have to do is I have to plug them into the formula. So I know that the length is 26. I know that the width is 18. And I know that the height is 17.7. And I'm looking for the volume. The formula is volume equals length times width times height divided by 3. So what I have to do is multiply all of them and divide them by 3. And then the unit is going to be, yep. So as you can see, guys, it's about like knowing what is given to you. If you need to find something, you need to find it first. Like in this case, we had to find the height. And then after that, we just plug it into the formula. Now we're looking at cones, right? So if you're looking at a cone, again, a cone is made of a circle, right? So you have the circle, and you have this, right? So if you're actually looking at a cylinder, right? A cone makes up makes, it's 1/3 of that cylinder. Okay? So this is how it comes out. If you're gonna form the cone, it's gonna be the volume of it is 1/3 of the volume of the whole cylinder. Okay? So we talked about the volume of the cylinder being pi r squared times h. Remember that? We just did that earlier today, right? So if I'm looking at the volume of the cone only, right, which is 1/3 of the volume of the cylinder, then it's gonna be pi r squared h divided by 3. Okay? Again, you have the formulas in your formula sheet. I'm gonna skip this question. You guys can do this one. Let's look at the next question. Here. Two cones, right? So it's a composite figure. So what do I have to do? It's asking you to find the volume of the following figure. We know the radius, we know the height, yeah?
Just find the volume of both cones and add them together.
That's right. So find the volume of this cone, right? And the volume of this cone, and then add them together. Okay? So the given to me for the first cone, I have that the radius is 6, and the height is 18. And I'm looking for the volume, so it's V1. I know V1 is pi r squared h divided by 3. What is it? 678 point. I can't, so pi. 678.5. Okay. And that's going to be, what's the unit for that? That's going to be centimeter cube. For the second volume, the radius is still the same. It's still 6 centimeters. The height is 24. And I'm looking for V2. And the answer is going to be 904.78. Total volume? 5. I think this is pretty straightforward as long as you know which formula to pick, right? All right. So you guys can do question number 1.